On today's episode of Tuesday Talks with Opie, I'm joined by the talented Ijala Retriegue, owner of Get Flawless by Ijala and Get Flawless by Ijala hair products. We discuss how her faith led her to pursuing her passion. Join us for today's conversation. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Tuesday Talks with Opie. Today, I'm joined with my lovely guest, Miss I'Jala Retriegue, the owner of Get Flawless by Ijala in Middletown, New York, as well as Get Flawless by Ijala hair products. Welcome to the show.
Hello. Hi, Opie. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. It's always a delight to have you, just to be in your presence. I've known you for a few years now, and every time it's always a beautiful conversation that just empowers others and just makes everyone feel good. And I think that's what makes you such a special person, because when everyone leaves, when they're with you and even when they leave, that good feeling, that warmth that they feel just goes along with them. So I'm so happy to have you on the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So today we're going to really dive into how you got started with your business, because before you became someone that specializes in hair and hair care, you were in the NYPD. So what made you say that you wanted to have your own beauty salon, go to beauty school, learn about how, specialize in the skill, and then own your own beauty salon?
Well, when I was a police officer, I worked 20 years with NYPD. I retired as a police officer. And I don't know, as a police officer, I always was into my hair, into makeup and everything like that. I just wasn't that officer in a uniform. I was a woman officer,
Hair done,
and
nails done.
yeah, I had one point. And so it was always about me just, taking care of myself and just always making myself feel good, even though, being in a uniform, that's one thing, but just, you know, um, you still had to feel like you were a woman, So I always had to make sure my hair and nails and makeup was, done. So, like, being a police officer, you don't have, your schedule is crazy. So, and I'm a Christian. So my thing is like, you don't have any days off, days off. And I can go to church and things like that, the times that I was able to go to church was like maybe later on in my career, where I was able to build up some type of seniority, and I finally had, weekends off and things like that. But, in my early part of my career, I kept saying, Lord, when it gets emotional, when I'm able to, when I retire, I want to be able to, give you my all, my all. When I retire, I want to give you my all.
Right.
But, so when I retired, I retired, but I still didn't know quite what all I wanted to give him, but I wanted to serve him. I said, I'm going to serve you. I'm going to give you my all. So I retired. And then, I still didn't know what direction I was going to go in. So I went to work at BOCES and, did a little security, but that was not, wasn't
It just
feeling
wasn't your
that.
passion. It wasn't, your heart
No,
wasn't into it.
And then I ended up going to work at St. Luke's Hospital. I went there, and I worked there for the 3 years that I worked there. But in the meantime, I went there. This is how it started. Going there, doing my makeup and my hair. And that's how it started, because people would ask me, "Oh, who did your hair? Who did your makeup?" Yeah,
Right.
and I would say myself and things like that. And it was like, "Oh wow!" Then a few people would ask, some of my coworkers would ask me if I could do the hair and the makeup and so on and so forth. And then I ended up, the back of my house, I have a sunroom. I opened up the sunroom and started doing hair and makeup there. And I, you know, ended up making more money there at home than I did at, um, at the hospital.
At the hospital at St. Luke's, right?
Mhm. Yeah. So started working at, home, making more money. And and it was something that I was just enjoying doing. I was like, oh my gosh, I love this. This is something that's when the passion that I actually had when I was a little girl, because that's, I was prepared to answer that question. I was always passionate about it. I
Right.
always loved doing hair, doing makeup, I loved it, but I didn't think it was going to be a career of choice.
Right.
And then later on, as I gotten, when I,
You had the
again,
opportunity to
yeah,
actually try it out and see if it's something that,
right,
this could be possible. This is something that I can see myself doing for others. You took
right. And then
advantage of
as I
it.
was, yes, and yeah, exactly. And as I started doing it, I just started, I was loving it. And not only was I love doing it, it was just something about the hair, you
Mhm.
know, and, you know, I just would, style it, and then I would style it, but not only the hair, just how the people would react,
Right.
you know, once,
Right.
um, once it's done, the smile on their face, and some of them would come in and they would just feel some kind of way, like down or whatever. And then once it's done, they're like, oh my gosh, it's just, I mean, I would get a joy out of that, and,
It's
you
almost like you're
know,
taking like the stress out of them. They come into the chair, whatever it is that they came in with, it almost just
mhm,
kind of like melts away, and you make them, because sometimes when we, not even sometimes, all the time, when we look good, it changes our perception of ourselves. It makes us more
mhm,
confident. And then that just kind
right,
of, it's like, it just makes us happy. So then we start
right,
thinking happier thoughts and we start
right.
acting
Exactly.
even
You
towards
know
others in
what?
a happy way.
Exactly. And you know what it is? Sometimes, people, you don't know that they have um inner beauty
Mhm.
until you bring out that outer beauty in them. You could just like, a nice, beautiful hairstyle, hairdo. And, especially when they come in, and then once you fix them up and doll them up and make them feel flawless, you don't see it until afterwards. I mean, I've seen so many clients, once I'm done with their hair, they just walking out here, feeling all nice and beautiful. I mean, and it just makes me feel so warm inside. I'm
Yeah.
just like, oh, and I love that. I really do love it. And then,
Right.
it just became more than that for me. And then, once I went to cosmetology school and got to learn more about the hair, got, educated about the, hair and things like that. It wasn't just my passion, it became more um, of, I guess became more my ministry now. Now I'm like, okay, this is, I've learned about it. And then now I'm thinking about the gift that God has given us, the crown, you know, the hair, and I'm like, we don't take care of this gift that God has given us, so now this is why I'm working so hard now on, my products. I work, this is why I work so hard on my products, because I want to fix this. I don't just want to fix the hair and style the hair, but I want to now, make it healthy and strong, and work on trying to, do things like that,
Right.
for
Not just
mhm,
create a facade where the hair looks nice, but is actually
right.
nice, that it's
Yeah,
healthy, it's good.
yeah.
So it's not just what we see, oh, it looks pretty, but then
Mhm,
it's damaged. No, we need to fix
right.
it from the
No,
inside out.
yeah,
We need to make sure
yes,
that
yes, yes,
right,
yes, inside
right,
out. You're right, inside out, because I tell them all. I said, because they do come to me, and they, and some of them really, really want to fix it. They do want to fix it. And the question I ask them, well, how's your, how do you eat? What do you eat? How do you eat? Do you eat enough protein? Do you take your vitamins? Do you drink
right,
enough water? You
right.
know, things like that, because it does work from the
Right.
inside out,
Sometimes
you
people
know.
think it's just topical, but it's like, no, you've got
Exactly.
to,
Yeah,
even,
yeah,
and, stress being one of the biggest factors. So even the way you think affects how everything else works in your body too.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, and mhm,
So God led you to, this is your ministry, and this is
yes,
not
okay,
just your passion, but just a way in which you want to serve God,
yes,
and share your gift with the world.
yes. I think that's what so that's where it came about. That's where I've become. I mean, it became more um sentimental to me now. Like I'm like, oh gosh, okay, Lord, this is it now. This is not, I'm seeing it now. And I'm really seeing it, you
Right.
know, and yeah, it's a blessing and I'm grateful for it. And yeah.
That's a
Mhm,
beautiful thing, to, I think
mhm.
it's about understanding our purpose, in this world.
Yeah.
And like once you
Mhm.
figure out where you're supposed to go, then you start walking in that path. When you're
Yeah.
distracted by everything, you're not sure, then that's when you're
Mm,
like, wait, what am I going to do next? So what's this? What's that? And you don't get any satisfaction. You don't get
right.
that, you know, the innate happiness and joy that you're supposed to feel, because
Right.
you're not doing exactly what you're supposed to. But it seems that you found the way that, you
Mhm.
want to
And
lead
like
your life and live your life. So that's amazing.
and like you said, your purpose.
Hmm.
It I know it is. It's my purpose. It's what God had for me, because it just everything just seemed to be lined up perfectly. I mean, and it just happened so fast,
Hmm.
And I honestly, it started out in 2019 when I mean, excuse me, 2017 when I told my mom, Mommy, I think I want to start doing I want to start doing hair and makeup, you
Hmm.
know. Once I made that decision and got her approval, yeah, because we have to get mama's approval. She was like, and she was like, yeah, baby, go for it. I think you'll do well. Um, you know, everything just seemed to be just going nice and smooth.
Right.
And mommy was my first, uh, she was actually my first model. I
Oh,
was doing,
wow.
I started practicing braiding on her hair.
Wow.
Um, yeah, I was doing some extensions. Now I used to braid growing up, but
Mhm.
I mean, I did my sister's hair, my, friends' hair and things like that. But, I wasn't all that good,
And
but
you're
I
like, I
was,
gotta perfect my skills. I gotta work on this.
yeah, yeah. So I said, let me try this. So I would practice a little bit on mommy. And this was only back in 2017. So
Hmm.
God is good. So I'm doing this. Yeah. But makeup, I always did a little makeup, but hair, I mean, and again, like I said, I braid my own hair, but it wasn't nothing like that. But then when I started doing mommy's hair and I'm doing this, and I'm like, okay, I'm getting better. Then that's my nieces started coming. I'm working on their hair. And then, I was getting better. Then I said, okay, now I'm gonna start, um, you know, stretching myself out a little bit. And now
Right.
I'm gonna start, doing other people's hair. I'm like, okay, I think I'm, good enough. I could, you know, do a couple of
And you did on your daughter's hair too? Did you
yeah,
do
yeah,
it?
yes, yes. So next thing you know, girl, I was doing my thing, but it just happened so fast. But this was prior to the hospital, so I was just like playing around a little bit. But
Right.
then I said, okay, now I'm gonna, I went to the hospital and now, and now I'm like, I don't perfect mine too. I'm like, okay, now I can do this. But and they like, oh my gosh, yeah, girl, who braiding your hair? I'm like, me. And that's when I stepped outside the box. And then they was
with
like, can
with
you
utter, like,
drive?
with a lot of confidence now that, yeah, it's me, and here's my card. Let me know when you want me to do your hair.
No, no, it was written on a piece of paper. I
In a
wasn't
piece
that
of
bad. I wasn't that good yet. I ain't get cards yet. But
we all start
yes,
from somewhere. As long as you're passing the information and letting people know, that's the most important thing.
yes. I mean, I knew I was good because I was good when I had my coworkers asking me about my hair and
Right.
makeup. But when I had a patient pull me over and said, "Excuse me, who did your hair?" I said, "Me." She was like, "Oh my gosh, girl, it's hard to find somebody to do hair up here."
Right.
He said, "Could you do mine?" So I was like, because didn't do all that, but but yeah, that's when I realized, I'm like, wow, I must got some skills here.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's when I decided, okay, I'm gonna, later on, I said I opened up the little my little salon in the sunroom at home.
Right, right. And then how did you transition to saying that you're going to own your own, like you said, you started a sunroom, and I believe you worked
Right.
at another salon prior to owning your own,
Yeah.
right? So you did that for a little bit, but then you're like, nope, it's time for me to just have my own thing, like completely. I've seen the inside of it. It's so beautiful. It's very
Thank
clean,
you
very
so much.
organized, so how did you even say, you know what? I don't even want to, this is, I'm putting all of it in and I'm just going to open my own.
Girl, let me, that was something else. Let me tell you, it had a lot to do with my daughter and a very good friend of mine. I'll tell you, because I was in Newburgh, and being a police officer, traveling back and forth to the city for the last 7 years of my career, I was just tired of driving.
Right.
So I was in Newburgh for just a year, and again, it was beautiful. I loved my shop in Newburgh. I loved it. It was small, and I was comfortable, but I just got tired of the driving. And so I decided that I wanted to find a spot in Middletown. I said, I'm going to look for something in Middletown. And so I went looking, and again, I was going to look for something just as small as what I had in Pittsburgh. I was like, I'm going to find this. I don't care. I just need me somewhere to go.
I just need a space.
But,
I just need so I can put myself in.
That's it. But again, my daughter was like, "Mom, no, I see you as something bigger." My girlfriend, she was like, "Ijala, no, I see you as something bigger, girl." She said, "No, She said, and I was like, no. She was like, "You know what?" She was like, "I'm gonna go look for something for you. After work, I'm gonna go look for something for you." Okay. So the next day, well, not the next day, but about a couple of days later, I went out looking for something. Listening to them, I said, "Okay, let me go find something." And God sent me here, and that's the truth. He sent me here. I'm gonna tell you, and the rest is history. I'm telling you, as you can see, the rest is history, girl. And I can't be. I can't be more than. I mean, I can't. I'm so grateful to them. I'm so glad that they, spoke those words, because I know I deserve better,
Right.
and
Even when you don't want to hear the message.
Yeah.
You didn't want to hear the message from God, but God said, "I'm going to send the right people to you so that you know." This is
so
where you're
close to
supposed to be.
home. I could walk on a nice, wonderful day if I want to.
And the weather's getting warmer, so
yeah. So this is how I ended up here, and God has a huge plan for me here, and I know it.
Right.
And I again, He's sending the right people my way, and we're growing, and just so many great things is happening. You guys haven't seen anything yet.
Amen. Amen. I love that. And the funny thing is that you did get this place, beautiful, set it up, and then pandemic happens and everything shuts down. It's like everything's set up. How did that like basically that news at first, strike you? Because you've planned everything. You're gonna have a grand opening. You're gonna do all this stuff, and now all those plans are not even on the horizon.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Well, I'm the type of person that things happen for a reason.
Mm,
So when I get news like that, I'll be like, okay, God, so what are you trying to tell me?
right.
So I sit back and I just, observe the situation and just say, okay, so, but I go with the flow. But I honestly needed a break. I was exhausted.
Right.
I'm telling you, working at Newburgh, I'm of course I'm the only stylist there, and just working some from sun up to sundown, I was burnt out. So I looked at it as
A
I needed
blessing.
a break. Yeah, a blessing and a break. I needed a break, so I got me enough rest. In the meantime, of course, I can't sit on my butt.
Right.
So,
Right.
like, okay, what you're gonna get into now, Ijala? What are you gonna get into now? So that's when I came out with my products, my own line of product, and I did
Nice.
that.
And tell us
Yeah.
a little bit more about your products. What's in your products, and where can they be
Oh,
found actually?
well, you know what happened? The client, my clients was contacting me, and they were, of course, most of them were under distress because they're wondering, like, oh my gosh, now what am I going to
What am
use?
I
What am
gonna
I going to, and I'm like, in my head, I'm like, oh my gosh, what can I do to help them? And you can recommend certain products, but a lot of this, I'm not, nothing against some of these brands. There are some really good brands out here. So you guys, thank God for Ida's Beauty Supply, because y'all guys know how to pick some great stuff. But there are some brands out here that and I'm like, okay, I have to figure out something.
Right.
So again, I used to make stuff, hair, body products for my children.
Okay.
Years ago, I would make my own body butter for the girls, and go on to cosmetology school and getting educated. You realize that, wait a minute, certain products you can actually use not just on your body, but on your
Your
hair,
hair and your scalp. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's when I realized, wait a minute, I used to make, this body butter for Dominic and Queer, I this stuff on my client's hair. And he immediately, let me tell you, when my mom passed in 2018, and we had some things that were left over, and one of the things that was left over was a mixer that was left in the house. And I we were like, who's gonna take this mixer, and I'm like, well, I guess I'll take it. I don't even bake,
Mm.
but I said, hey, I'll take it. I said, okay, I'll take it. But God knew. So I took the mixer, and then not realizing that when I went to start making this, start to create the body butter again for the
Right.
girls. I mean, for, just to try to, mix some stuff up, because I had some shea butter, some aloe butter, and things like that. And I'm like, okay, let me see what I can do here. And then I realized, wait a minute, I'm over here trying to mix stuff with a hand mixer. And then
I've
I
got
said,
a
wait a
tool right
minute.
there.
Yeah, I said, mommy got the mixer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I went up on top of the cabinet, got mom a mixer. It's a little old mixer, but honey, that baby did some
She
justice.
left it just for you. She knew you're gonna need
Yes, she did. She did. And she did. It worked out perfectly. So I made
Wow.
the butter. Yes, and I had a couple of people who tried it out, sampled it and everything, and it was amazing. I used it on myself. Of course, my hair was flourishing in just a short period of time. It was
Right.
shining, it was moisturized. I mean, who could wear a fro and hair is moisturized? You could wear hair out and it dries up, things like that. But my afro stays moisturized and shiny and stuff. I love it. So yes,
So
and
you
that's how
started
it.
distributing it during the pandemic to your clients when you
Yeah,
couldn't even, actually
yeah,
help them in person. You're like, here you go. This
yeah.
is gonna help
Mm,
you until we
mm.
until we can meet again.
Yeah, yes, yes, yes.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
And that's when I said, oh no, I'm running with this. This here is some good stuff. Mhm. Yeah.
So what is your
Yeah.
favorite style? Like after, everything that happened, now you have your clients back in your chair, you're able to start styling and doing hair again. What is like your favorite go-to style to do? Like one of your favorites?
On the clients,
Mm-hmm.
my favorite style on the clients is the knotless braids.
The knotless
And
braids.
I call it a knotless journey. Yes, I do. I call it a knotless journey because the knotless braids, it's less tension on the scalp, pain-free. I've noticed that most clients who are looking to get their hair back on a healthy track, this is the best route to go. Not only, you can wear the hair braided, but you could also apply products and it goes straight into, the hair strand and scalp.
Okay.
It's just amazing. And you can wear it for 6 to 8 weeks or so and take it out, get it treated, whatever, and get it put right back in that style again and wear it for another 6 to 8 weeks or so. And let's just say you on this knotless journey for a year, you'd be surprised how long that client's hair have grown, how healthy it is without you having to just mess with it or do things like that to it. It's amazing.
It's
Yeah, I love it.
And I've heard that, even as soon as it's done, it's so easy for people to even do like an updo and styles.
Yes,
sometimes it's not as easy to do when with the regular box braids.
Yeah, it's great. It's an awesome protective style.
Nice. And what would be the second one that you like then? If it's knotless braid is first, which one is second?
So I like the 2-strand twist, something that's simple and I could actually teach a client, to learn how to do at home, because I like for them to also learn some things that,
Okay.
Just in case we have a pandemic or
Right.
something like that again. I want my clients to be prepared, and that's how I am. Like I educate my clients. I tell them all the time when they sit in my chair, I'm that one stylist that will sit them in my chair and will talk them from the time they sit in their chair until the time they leave out. They know I educate them on everything I put in their hair. Yes, that's me.
And how do you, so the 2-strand twist, are we talking about just on like natural hair or with extensions?
With natural hair.
With natural hair. Okay. So the knotless braids would be the one your favorite style with extensions, and then your favorite without would be the 2-strand twist. Oh, that's awesome. So how do you usually express to your clients how to take care of knotless braids? Once they have it done, how do they take care of something like that?
Well, I normally tell them to keep it moisturized. I usually tell them, of course, I offer to, my product because it's buildable. It's not heavy. It's very lightweight, and I usually tell them, that to put that on. You can actually put it on every day.
Right.
So just to keep the hair hydrated, moisturized. And then the scalp, just spritz a little bit of oil on it in the scalp, just to keep the scalp nice and hydrated as well. And that's pretty much it. Keep a satin bonnet on their head, while they're sleeping and things like that. And then also when it comes, down to a lot of times, the first couple of weeks they may experience some itching and things like that.
Okay.
I always send them over. Well, before they leave here, I send them over to you so that they can get the mango and lime sprays. You got to keep that stocked. Keep that stocked. The Jamaican lime spray.
That does for the medicated spray. That
oh
does.
My God, girl. That's a lifesaver. So yeah.
where do you see Get Flawless by Ijala in the next 5 years? Where do you want it to take, this path that God has set you on, from your products to your salon? Where do you see it in the next 5 years?
In the next 5 years, I see us, because we have truly been blessed, within in the within the past few years. I see God doing big things for us, and I could see us in multiple states. I mean, I could see us growing big, because this is big. This is big, just, and God, this is different. Get Flawless is different than most salons, you know what I mean? And it's about that time. It's about that time that, you know, we have to make a difference. It's about that time that, we make a difference, in the way we take care of our hair. It's not about, about the money. I mean, of course, the money will come, but at the end of the day, it's about the need, the care, and love that we have for our clients, and it's time,
And there's more people need to experience that. So it needs to be
yeah,
everywhere so that they can
yeah,
get flawless too.
yes. People come in the salon, and I don't brag about it, but and it's not, honestly, it's just not about what it looked like. It's just like when they come in, it's a different type of feel. You understand? And and that's, we
The type
need
of
more.
energy that you want them to
Yeah,
feel wherever
yeah.
yeah.
And we need more of them.
We
So
need
we're
more
gonna
of
get
it.
get flawless by Angela. Everywhere you go, you're gonna see it. You're gonna
So what
see it.
advice would you give to someone that wants to get into an industry like beauty salon and taking care, and really not just styling hair, but taking care of people's hair? What would be, your advice to them?
Um, I well, first off, I want to just share with um your viewers out here. I started this career at 52 years old. So I want anyone that's out there to know that if you're passionate about anything, you have a dream or anything like that, don't ever give up. Don't ever give up on it. You know, um, go for it. Go for it. Don't let no one stop you or tell you you can't do it. Just, you know, follow your dreams.
Mm,
Follow your dreams. Even if, if it's something that, even if you're at a workplace and you're unhappy,
mhm.
and, you feel like you have a
Right.
gift or a talent that God gave you, and this is something you want to do. Go for it. Follow your dream, follow your passion. Do something that you love.
Right.
You know, I'm gonna tell you, at the age of 52, going back to school, it wasn't easy, but I did it, and I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful that I did it. Okay, had I not done it, I wouldn't have won Hudson Valley hair braiding competition. Had I not done it, I wouldn't have came out with my hairline product. Had I not done it, I wouldn't have this beautiful salon that I'm sitting in here now. If I had I not done had I listened to other people saying, "Oh, Ijala, you can't do it. You too old," or looking at
Mm,
me like I'm crazy when I went and said, "Listen, I'm not doing this no more. I'm going back to school." When I was working at the hospital, I'm going back to school. I had looks at me like, going back to school.
right. Right.
Now looking at me like, "Oh, damn," you know. But yeah, don't
Your
you
dreams are
ever.
not for others to understand.
Yeah, yeah. Now at me like, and they're proud, I'm sure, and I'm looking at it like that. Yeah. So, and yeah, and this is a beautiful career. It is. It's a beautiful career being a hairstylist. it's great, you know, to make someone feel beautiful. It's a wonderful feeling, you know, and I love it. I really, really, and as far as retiring, I don't know when I'm going to retire.
That's not even on the horizon right now, you know?
No,
And it goes back to what we
near.
were saying about, you know, the purpose. Like when you're doing the stuff that you love and you're walking your purpose, it doesn't feel, you know, like a job or something that, you know, like, yes, you
Mhm.
are doing, this is the work you're doing, but it's not because you have to do it. It's because you're passionate about it and it's something that you want to do. So you seem to give it your all.
Yeah, I
And
do.
even on those days where you're like, oh my gosh, I'm tired, it
Mhm.
you're still able to see that it's worth it, that this tiredness is because of something, not just not
Yeah,
just
yeah.
because.
Mhm. Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Hmm.
Thank you so much for joining me today and, you know, talking about your experience and, you know, doing like I said before from the beginning, it's always a pleasure to be in your presence and
Thank
having a
you.
conversation with you and
Thank you
learning more
so much,
about you and
Sophie.
how you think and everything it's a beautiful thing. So thank you.
Thank you.
I want, you know, I know there are going to be people who want to stay connected, want to find out where they can get your products, how they can see all the beautiful work that you are doing and you continue to do. So where can we find more information about you?
Okay, well, they can follow me at on Facebook at Get Flawless by Ijala, and Instagram Get Flawless by Ijala LLC. And I also have a website where they can purchase my product at www.getflawlessbyijala. And I also have my products at Nature's Pantry in the Windsor and at the Middletown Indoor Flea Market. And I also sell products here at my salon at Get Flawless by Ijala, 41 North Street, Middletown, New York. Thank you.
Awesome. I'll definitely make sure that I add all of that information at the end of this video. So thank you again. I really appreciate it. Until next time, everyone. Bye.
Bye. Thank you, Opie, so much for having me.